Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. O kung ano man oras nyo mapapanood ang video ito, peace be with you. Sana okay lang kayo matapos itong bagyo natin, ano? Okay guys, special shout out. Ano ba yun? Nautal eh. Ganun naman talaga pag ano. Anyway, guys, shout out sa mga sections na hawak ko, NEEM, Maple, Timber, Alder at Palm. Okay, sa inyo diyan, itong video learning na ito, sana'y doon sa mga alam na gagawin, pag nabasa na ang module, mag-start na kayo magsagot. Yung sa ibang hindi makaintindi, hintayin nyo ang discussion ko. At guys, sagutan naman ninyo. Ang dami kong nakitang walang sagot. Kahit nga pangalan eh, meron nakikita walang pangalan. So, pangalanan ninyo, sayang ang score na makukuha nyo. At mag-submit kayo ng ating mga activity. Okay? So, doon sa mga nag-submit na doon inilagay sa bond paper lamang ang activity ay baka ito mawala ha. Isasubmit nyo ulit sa akin sa last day ng school year. Sa mga nag-submit naman ng sketchbook, okay, congratulations sa inyo at may mga grade kayo. May ingatan nyo yan, sigurado ako, huwag lang mawawala. May ingatan, huwag mawawala. Ano ba yun? Okay, basta ingatan lang ninyo na mawala. Yun lamang at may sasabit kayo sa akin. May total grade bonus yan. Speaking of bonus, mamumulaklak ang bonus ngayon. Magpapasko eh. Magpapapasko tayo ng bonuses eh. Okay, start na tayo! Last time, I discussed sa inyo ang health-related fitness, which is those so-called cardiovascular, flexibility, body composition, muscular strength, and endurance. Maging ang meaning ng fitness na mula sa root word na fit. Dagdag lang ito, baka ito hindi ko nadidiscuss sa inyo. Physical fitness, it is ability of our body to respond to the many demands of life with extra energy. With extra energy, meaning pag ikay nasa leisure or recreational times, meron ka pang ibubuga. Okay, pag-uusapan natin ang skill-related fitness. Ayan na ang topic ninyo. Ang topic natin ay agility, balance, power, speed, coordination, and reaction time. Stay tuned lang kayo dito at marami kayong matututunan ngayong oras na ito dahil papakita ko sa inyo ang ibig sabihin ng mga ito. Okay, BMI, nag-discuss ko na sa inyo. So, start na kayo sa BMI. May form kayong gagawin. Kung sa typewriting naman, stapler niyo yung lahat ng mga activity, ha? Para hindi nangangalas-ngalas. At nang hindi mahirapan pati ang advisor niyo pag sort. Okay, so here are the terms na kailangan nyong maintindihan. Una ay ang weight. It is the heaviness and lightness of a person. Height is a distance between the floor to the top of the head. Okay. Waist circumference naman is a good predictor of visceral fat. Visceral fat meaning yung mga tumataba diyan. Pinakamagandang tingin ang waist circumference. Okay. Strength. Yan ang unang test natin. Sa test na ito, guys, it refers to the muscle's ability to generate force against physical objects. Meaning may force kang nilalabas against physical objects. Yun. An ability to generate. Generate niya yung force. Paano ba yung generate yun? Para naiipon. Kung ba pupush up kayo, kung paano mo maitulak, kung paano mo mabatak, yun yung mga force eh. Anyway, so yun. Pag-usapan natin kung ano strength natin, naraan, di ba? Sa muscular strength. And that is a 90-degree push-up. Ating ipapakita maya to measure strength of upper extremities. Yan ay 90-degree push-up. So when we say 90-degree push-up, again, to measure the strength of upper extremities. At ito yun.
Push-ups are one of the most fundamental bodyweight exercises and are very popular. The movement is simple, can be done everywhere, and it's very effective because you are using a lot of muscles at the same time. Sounds good, right? The problem is that a lot of people concentrate on quantity instead of quality when doing push-ups. To avoid this, you should focus on these 4 points to make your push-ups perfect. Let's start straight with the number 1, the body position. A push-up is not only a triceps, chest and shoulder movement. Most people neglect their tension in the abdominal muscles, the hips and the legs. Often they form an arched back and have a leg and body tension. To avoid this, tilt your pelvis backward and keep your butt squeezed tight. The movement gets a lot harder with this, but it's also more effective. The second point is the arm position. The arm position doesn't really matter in terms of the perfect execution. A perfect push-up can be done with a wide or a narrow grip. But it's important to place your wrists in a nearly vertical line under your shoulder when you do the standard push-up. There are still exceptions for that rule, for example when you are doing pseudo planche push-ups, which puts the focus more on your shoulder. Or when you're doing sphinx push-ups, which are a triceps dominant movement. If you are working with standard push-ups and choose a wider grip, it involves the chest more than a close grip, and a close grip sets the focus more on your triceps. The only thing you should avoid completely are out-flared elbows, because this puts a lot of stress on your shoulder, which can lead to injuries. The closer you place your arms to the body, the more your elbows point backwards. The wider you place your arms, the more your elbows going away from your body, but they still point more backwards than to the side. The third point is the range of motion. This is quite simple, just don't cheat. Go all the way up and all the way down and let your body straight. Don't decrease the range of motion by bringing your head forward or your hips down. The last point is the shoulder blade movement. This is a very neglected point. When you're going down, your shoulder blades come together, and when you're going up, they go apart. You should also focus on pushing them downward instead of upward. But don't forget, there's still difference between a passive and an active way of this shoulder blade movement. If you are too weak in the shoulder girdle, your shoulder blades come together because you are not able to hold your body against the gravity. You can see this especially at the top of the movement. When you are going down, always focus on the tension and an active shoulder blade movement. Don't let yourself fall down into your structures. If you consider all those points and try it on your own, you will notice that it's much harder to do. Maybe your amount of maximum repetitions will drop, but that doesn't matter. Always focus on quality over quantity, and you will be rewarded with progress and a healthy body.
Okay, napanood ninyo ang tamang paraan ng pag-push up. Huwag gagawin yung mga bawal, okay? Quantity over quality. Yan ang inyong tatandaan. Mas maganda yung tama ang ginagawa, di baling kakaunti ang bilang, pero tama ang ginagawa. So, yun tatandaan ninyo. Alright? So, ayan ang mga tamang dapat gawin. So, yan ang gagawin ng mga boys. Samantalang mga babae, ang gagawin nyo push-up ay itong kasunod na ipapakita ko sa inyo. So, panoorin mabuti at pag-aralan. So, ayan. And then, next ay curl up. In curl up, the purpose of this test is to measure the strength and endurance of your abdomen or stomach.
The curl up is the only test option used to measure abdominal strength and endurance in the fitness gram. The goal of the curl-up is to complete as many curl-ups as possible, up to a maximum of 75, and to do so at a set cadence or pace. This is the cadence CD. The warm-up is important to performance on the curl-up. Remember, the goals of the warm-up are to prepare the body for the activity, improve performance, and reduce injuries. Prior to the beginning of the curl-up, the examiner needs to ensure that each student has a partner. One student will perform the curl-up, while the partner will help the examiner watch for form breaks. The student performing the test lies with his back to the mat and face looking up. The knees are bent at a 140-degree angle, with feet flat on the mat, legs slightly apart. The arms are kept straight and parallel to the trunk, with the palms of the hands resting on the mat. The fingers are stretched out and the head is in contact with the mat. Once the student performing the curl-ups assumes the correct position, the partner places the measuring strip on the mat and under the bent legs. The measuring strip is moved so that the fingertips are just touching the nearest edge of the strip. The audio CD cadence will indicate up, down, and the number of curl-ups completed. With the pace called on the CD, students are signaled to start and perform each curl-up slowly.
We'll begin the curl-ups now. Ready? Begin. Up, down, 1, up, down, 2.
Movement should start with a slow curling up of the upper spine.
Up, down, 4, up.
The fingers should slide across the measuring
5,
strip
up,
until the fingertips reach the other edge of the strip.
up,
The student then
down,
slowly
7,
curls back down
up,
until the head touches the mat.
down, 8.
Heels should be
up,
kept in contact with the mat at all
down,
times,
9,
and movement should be
up,
slow and continuous.
down,
The
10,
protocol is quite
up,
different from the familiar and fast-paced sit-ups. Form breaks occur when the student's heels are no longer in contact with the mat, when the head does not touch the mat as the student curls back down, when movements become jerky, when the student stops to rest, when the student cannot keep up with the cadence, and when the fingertips do not touch the other edge of the strip. The examiner signals to the partner when a form break has occurred. The student is stopped when the second form break occurs, when the student can no longer continue, or when the student completes the limit of 75 curl-ups. The score for the curl-up is the number of curl-ups performed. The first form break or incorrect curl-up is counted in the score. It is important for the examiner to apply this scoring procedure consistently across all students. The examiner records this score as students complete the test. If the number of curl-ups completed is within or exceeds the range of the healthy fitness zone for the student's gender and age, the student meets the performance standard and should continue doing regular physical activity. If the number of curl-ups falls below the range of the healthy fitness zone, this indicates that the student would benefit from physical activities designed to improve abdominal strength and endurance.